Winning the World Cup isn't just about being the best team anymore. Sometimes it's about surviving the hardest road. A few giants could eliminate each other long before the final even begins. Some teams were lucky with the draw, while others landed on the toughest side of the bracket imaginable. One bad matchup and an entire World Cup dream can disappear overnight. That's why the path matters almost as much as the team itself. Some roads look easy at first until you realize who's waiting in the next round. Today, we're following 8 different journeys, all chasing the exact same trophy. Some teams earned a favorable path, while others will have to fight for every single step. Let's start with one of the most unpredictable teams still standing, Mexico. Mexico may not be the biggest favorite, but writing them off has always been a dangerous mistake. They finished the group stage with confidence, and now the real challenge begins. Their defense has looked disciplined, and their attack knows exactly when to strike. But their road to the final won't be easy because every next opponent gets stronger. So, can Mexico finally make a deep World Cup run this time? Mexico's biggest strength isn't their attack, it's how organized they stay without the ball. You can see it throughout the group stage. Opponents constantly ran into a wall of green shirts. Instead of diving into challenges, they force attackers to make the first mistake. And once they win the ball back, they waste absolutely no time going forward. That balance between patience and speed is what gives Mexico a real chance in the knockout stage. And when everything clicks, this team becomes incredibly difficult to stop. But now, the challenge gets even bigger. Next up, the United States. Unlike every other team on this list, the United States has one advantage nobody else can claim. They're playing this World Cup at home, and you can feel it every time they step onto the pitch. From the opening whistle, the atmosphere has been on their side. But home support alone doesn't win football matches. Performance does. Throughout the group stage, they attacked with confidence instead of fear. That's exactly why opponents can't afford to give this team too much space. One quick transition, and suddenly they're celebrating in front of their own fans. Now comes the real question, can that momentum carry them all the way to the final? The good news for the United States, they've already proven they can compete with quality teams, but the deeper you go in a World Cup, the margin for error disappears. One mistake, one missed chance, or one defensive lapse can end an entire World Cup journey in just a few seconds. That's exactly why experience becomes just as important as talent once the pressure reaches its highest level. And that's what brings us to another team that's built almost exactly the same way. Disciplined, patient, and incredibly difficult to beat. That team is England. England may not have scored the most spectacular goals so far, but they've been one of the most consistent teams in the tournament. They stayed calm under pressure, even when matches became physical and difficult. Instead of forcing attacks, England waits patiently for opponents to make the first mistake. And once they win possession, their transition becomes surprisingly quick. That's what makes England so dangerous. They don't need many chances to completely change a match. Their biggest strength isn't individual brilliance, it's how every player understands their role on the pitch. You can actually see that chemistry every time England builds an attack from the back. They don't panic, they don't rush, and that's exactly what makes them so difficult to stop in tournament football. England might not be the loudest favorite, but overlooking them could be one of the biggest mistakes any opponent makes. But if there's one team that combines confidence, flair, and pure attacking talent better than almost anyone, it's Brazil. There's Brazil, a team that never needs an introduction whenever the World Cup comes around. Brazil topped their group again, playing with confidence, control, and the attacking football fans expect from them. Every attack looked dangerous because Brazil always had runners moving into space from every direction. That's what separates Brazil from most teams. They can create chances even when nothing looks open. And once Brazil finds its rhythm, stopping them becomes one of the hardest jobs in world football. What makes Brazil different is their confidence. They never stop attacking, no matter what the score says. Even when defenders close every passing lane, Brazil usually finds another way through. That creativity makes Brazil one of the toughest teams to predict and even tougher to defend against. Their pace becomes even more dangerous once the game starts to open up in the second half. That's why Brazil remains one of the strongest contenders. Every single opponent knows they can score at any moment. But attacking football alone is never guaranteed a World Cup, and Brazil knows that better than anyone. One defensive mistake is all it takes to change an entire tournament. That's why balance could decide whether Brazil lifts the trophy or heads home early. Now let's turn to a team that combines world-class talent with years of tournament experience, France. Every World Cup seems to produce one constant. France always finds a way to stay in the fight. France doesn't just rely on big names, they win because almost every position is filled with quality players. Throughout the group stage, They control games without looking rushed or uncomfortable. Whether it's defending deep or attacking quickly, France looks comfortable doing both. And when space finally opens up, France can punish opponents within just a few seconds. That's exactly why France remains one of the most complete teams left in this tournament. But talent alone won't guarantee another title because every remaining team is capable of creating problems for France. Even France has been forced to defend under pressure when opponents attack with confidence. That's why staying disciplined could matter even more than attacking flair from this point forward. And speaking of tournament experience, only a few teams can match what Portugal brings to this stage. Portugal enters every World Cup carrying enormous expectations, and this tournament is no different. Portugal looks sharper this year with a squad full of experience and confidence. Their passing has been quick, patient, and incredibly difficult for opponents to read. Instead of rushing forward, Portugal waits patiently before striking at exactly the right moment. Once they find space, Portugal attacks with speed and excellent movement around the box. That's why Portugal remains one of the smartest teams still chasing football's biggest prize. Portugal also knows how to stay calm when matches become tense and unpredictable. That confidence becomes obvious whenever they defend a narrow lead late in games. Their balance between patience and precision makes them dangerous against any opponent. Their celebrations say everything this squad genuinely believes it can win the tournament. And that's exactly why Portugal deserves to be part of every World Cup conversation this year. Now let's talk about Argentina, a team built on confidence and big match experience. Argentina has stayed composed even when opponents tried to slow the game down. Their movement off the ball has created space throughout the tournament. Their patience often forces defenders to leave exactly the space Argentina wants. And once that opening appears, Argentina attacks with ruthless efficiency. That's what makes Argentina so dangerous. They rarely waste the chances they create. Even under pressure, they keep moving the ball until the perfect opening finally appears. That calm decision-making has become one of Argentina's biggest strengths this tournament. And when the final pass arrives, Argentina attacks with incredible precision. That's why Argentina remains one of the smartest and most complete teams left in this World Cup. Finally, let's talk about Colombia, the tournament's biggest surprise so far. They play fearless football and look comfortable against every challenge they face. Every match has shown a team that's confident with and without the ball. Colombia attacks with purpose, but they never lose their defensive shape. That's exactly why they've become one of the toughest teams to play this year. Ignore Colombia at your own risk, because this team is ready to shock the world. So after watching every contender, one thing has become crystal clear. Every one of these teams has something that makes them a real title contender. But once the knockout pressure begins, talent alone won't be enough anymore. Only the team that handles pressure the best will still be standing at the end. Now it's your turn. Which team do you believe has the best chance to win it all? Drop your prediction below and subscribe to Rovio 11 for more World Cup stories every week.